Thank you very much for joining us, Xhanti.
It's my pleasure, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, the rand's weakness has been worrisome in the past few weeks. It has been shooting beyond the 15 rand and the 20 rand mark against the dollar and the euro, as well as the pound. What was causing that?
Well, I think in particular, there's a number of factors. One of the main things that we've been seeing, obviously, has been some of the weakness in emerging markets. China being a big driver in terms of just investor sentiment and how people feel might happen in that country. Remember, the economy is slowing down quite dramatically, and there's a lot of volatility even in their own financial markets or stock markets. So that has led to some volatility that came through in terms of our own markets here. Remembering, of course, that as South Africans, we're all bunched together with the Chinese, given that we are all called emerging markets. But obviously, of late, especially in the past week, there's been a lot of effects coming through from the United States. For a long time, we've been waiting for the U.S. Federal Reserve, or their central bank as we know it here, to change or to cut, to start changing interest rates or increasing them. So they've been indicating for a long time that they would start increasing interest rates. Remember, their interest rates at the moment are between 0 to 0.25%, or at least that's the central bank rate, which is our repo rate. So that is something that people have been expecting to happen. It hasn't happened, and I think it's causing a lot more volatility in terms of our own markets, especially in terms of the rand.
Now, it has bounced back. I see this afternoon, actually, the performance has been very upbeat, and it has now rebounded to 13 rand levels against the dollar, but not so much of a reversal of the misfortunes against the euro and the pound. So tell us about this divided approach.
Yeah, so the idea is always about currencies, right? That, the rand against the dollar, the rand against the euro, it really is about, our purchasing power, the purchasing of one currency against the other, or the exchange rate, as we like to call it. So, the rand against the dollar depends on two things, whether that the dollar itself has some challenges, so it might weaken or strengthen, or the rand weakens or strengthens. I think at this point, particularly given the decisions of the U.S. bank, one of the things that have happened is that actually we're not seeing so much that the strength of the rand, but much more the weakness of the dollar. So the dollar has slightly weakened. Again, on people saying, what is going on? Is the U.S. recovery not coming? Because that's the sentiment that's coming from the U.S. Central Bank or the Federal Reserve. They are starting to doubt the recovery of the U.S. economy, and that is probably seeing their dollar weaken. On top of that is that we are not seeing that interest rate hike that investors have been waiting for. So that divide is that the dollar is weakening, whereas then in other currencies where you're seeing the euro relatively stable, and so is the pound.
Right. Xhanti Payi, who is an economist with the Essence Advisory Insights. Thank you very much for joining us on this Friday afternoon.